Live from the CSI Baseball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet brings to you NCAA Division II baseball action on the ECC Network. Today's conference doubleheader features the Spartans of St. Thomas Aquinas College taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Pavona. You might have heard me just a few minutes ago down at the softball complex for senior day at softball, but I am here today solo for today's doubleheader between the Spartans and the Dolphins. Lineups are being introduced at this current time. We'll get to you those lineups in just a moment. But going into today's game, a big doubleheader for CSI with now their record improving. I should actually fix that, folks. Excuse me. Let me take that off for the time being. The Dolphins improving their record now in conference play to a record of 7-6 now on the season. So CSI now in the firm driver's seat in the ECC standings at number 2 in the standings. So they have their own destiny to fulfill and succeed if they want to get a top 2 seed in the playoffs this season. Meanwhile, for Stack, this is a must game for them here today. This doubleheader. The Spartans are 4-9 in conference play. If they want to have a chance to get that final spot, which is held right now by Queens, they really need to pick up a couple games today against the Dolphins. If they could get one of these 2 games, that would help the Spartans so far in the season. These 2 teams, of course, played on Friday with the Dolphins picking up the win. Or, excuse me, they played on Thursday with the Dolphins picking up the victory in that game over the Spartans. And now the Dolphins will look for another victory here today, try to take the first 3 games of this 4-game series, with the series concluding on Monday after the Easter holiday. And we'll look back to that game that happened on Thursday. The Dolphins winning that game over the Spartans by the final of 13-7. Spartans had an early 2-1 lead after the first inning. The Dolphins would get a run in the third and the fourth inning. And then CSI would really get some damage in the later innings of that game. 5 runs in the 6th, 4 runs in the 7th. The Dolphins had a good enough pitching performance, but they also would get a nice job offensively in that game, and they also took advantage of some big errors from the Spartans in that game, as we'll now show you the updated standings today for the season. The Spartans, as I mentioned, 9-24 on the year, 4-9 in conference play. The Dolphins, 13-23, 7-6 in conference play. The Spartans still looking to make the playoffs right now. On the outside looking in, CSI in the driver's seat to potentially get a 2 seed after Mercy's losses this weekend. The Dolphins can improve their record to 9-6. They get the sweep of the doubleheader. We'll talk a little bit more about the Dolphins' regular season and the lineups for today's game, as well as give you the Spartans schedule for the rest of the way. When we come back from this commercial break, National Anthem will be played in just a few moments. We'll be right back here at the CSI Baseball Complex.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
And we are back from the CSI Baseball Complex for today's doubleheader between the Dolphins and the Spartans. Once again, my name is Nicholas Pavona, and I'll be bringing you the action today between Stack and CSI. Dolphins looking for the victory here in this doubleheader. If they could take at least one of the 2, preferably for them, if they could take both of these games, they would be in a firm position in the standings to get the victory this week. Meanwhile, as I mentioned for the Spartans, right now at the bottom end of the conference standings, they really need these 2 games here today to keep their season going. Their season wouldn't end necessarily if they lose both, but folks, it would take a lot for Stack in these next couple of weeks to get back into the driver's seat and put themselves in a position at the end of the year to get that last spot in the ECC standings. As we look at Stack's schedule for the remainder of the year, after today, Stack has 1 more conference series left on the year. That is that 4-game series at the beginning of May. That series taking place against Queens. The series will start at Stack on May 2nd. We'll go to Queens for a doubleheader on May 3rd. They'll end their year on May the 4th against Queens. So for Stack, this is big because they have, after today's doubleheader, they'll have 5 more conference games left on the season. 1 more with the Dolphins on Monday. That 4-game series with Queens to end their year. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins, we look at their schedule. After today, the Dolphins will have Heroes Day coming up on Thursday against Felician. They'll get a rematch against Dominican University on the 29th. And then the Dolphins will end their year with their last 4 conference games, a 4-game series, all taking place here at the CSI Baseball Complex. The same exact week, Stack plays Queens. The Dolphins will take on the Saints of Deauville University. As I mentioned, the Dolphins trying to get into a firmer position in this conference standings with the victories here today. And for the Spartans, they're trying to keep their season going on this one. First pitch was thrown in there for a strike. Michael First is the starter today for the Dolphins. We'll give you his numbers in just a moment. That first pitch is hit to short. Flasher throws it over the head of Vigliotti, and a bad start for CSI. An early E6. And that will get the Spartans their first base runner of this game. We saw a couple errors in the game on Thursday between these 2 teams. I mentioned Stack had 3 that really hurt them in that game, and unfortunately for them, cost them that game. Meanwhile, for the Dolphins in that one, CSI came away with 1 error, and an early error to start this game off right here. As they check the runner over at first, back in safely. Ryan Hillary was the one that got on base via the error. This is Anthony DeMarco now at the plate here for the Spartans. DeMarco this year leading the team in batting average, a .333 batting average. Coming into today's doubleheader, as once again back in safely is Hillary. I'll have to make a mental note as well. Tell our room next door that they have to fix the logo for Stack. There goes the runner towards second. The throw from behind the plate gets into center field. It was not a bad throw, but it got a little bit offline. And that allows Hillary to go from first to third. And some early trouble brewing for the Dolphins here in the top half of the first inning. As the Spartans now have a runner on third, that being Hillary. And DeMarco now has himself an RBI opportunity. I mentioned it on Thursday. The Dolphins jumped out to a 1-0 lead. Stack would get 2 runs back in the bottom half of that inning. As DeMarco hits that one into left field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. Anthony DeMarco will get himself an RBI single, bringing home Ryan Hillary. And a strong start to this game for the Spartans. They take an early 1-0 lead. So just what the doctor ordered so far in this game for Stack. They get on base to start off the inning via the error. Hillary gets from first to third off the stolen base and the bad throw into center. And DeMarco brings him home with a blue single into left field. So some early trouble here for Michael First, as now he'll face next Spartan hitter as Kyle DeCrest. DeCrest takes that strike. The count now going to 0-2. As I mentioned, we'll give you Michael First's stats in just a moment. DeCrest Perez does have a home run on the season for this Spartans lineup. On the year, he's hitting .250 with 1 home run and 13 RBIs. As first gets that pitch in there for strike 3. It was a very delayed strike call behind the plate. But a nice bounce back first out for Michael First right there as he gets to Crest on the strikeout. As Tyler Haight now is the batter. Batting in the cleanup spot today for Stack. Haight on the year hitting .294 with 8 RBIs. As that one was just a little bit too close for comfort here. Just a little bit too close for comfort. Have to watch the equipment here. Operating on just one camera here today, our camera inside the press box. The other camera we usually use for the pitcher-batter camera being used at softball today. As I mentioned, the Dolphins have a doubleheader going down at the softball complex. They take on the Lions of Malloy University on Senior Day. Both the the baseball and softball teams looking to make the playoffs this year. Another throw from behind the plate, and again goes into center. Another error for the Dolphins in the inning. And a disastrous start for the Dolphins in this one. As DeMarco gets the stolen base and now reaches third via the error. 3 first-inning errors for CSI, not what they needed to start this game. And now a chance at the plate for Haight to bring home the runner from third as the Dolphins will move their infield in. And for Jake Giovanone, who's getting first action for the first time in a long time, not the strongest start for him. So that one was fouled up by Haight into foul territory. The count remains 0-2. We saw this past week Michael Keogh making his return to the Dolphin team. That was a good sight to see for him. The Dolphins getting back Jake Giovanone in this one. Still remains 0-2 for First. That one is popped up in foul territory. Giovanone was the first initial player there, but it's TJ Leno over at third base that makes the catch in foul territory, and there's now 2 away.
Now batting the designated hitter number 5, Nick Olson.
That'll bring up Nick Olcher now with 2 gone in the inning. And if First can limit the damage to just the 1 run, the Dolphins will certainly take that. After this next pitch, I'll give you Michael First's stats in the season. I know I promised that earlier in the inning, as Adam 1 misses on the outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. On the season, First is 2-5 on the year with an 8.73 ERA. His 10th appearance of the season, his 8th start. He's pitched 33 innings, has allowed 52 hits, 38 runs, 32 of those earned, 12 walks, and 22 strikeouts. As he now has a 1-1 count on the Spartans' designated hitter, Olcher. Olcher on the year hitting .303 with 17 RBIs. He takes a big swing and a miss on that one. Is now behind the count 1-2. On the line for these 2 teams here today. And then Olcher swings and misses for strike 3. Michael First does a great job of getting out of the jam with the punch out and retires the side. Spartans do get a run in the inning via the RBI single from DeMarco. They head into the bottom half of the first inning with a 1-0 lead as the Dolphins come to bat.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back for the home first here at the CSI Baseball Complex. An early 1-0 lead for the Spartans of St. Thomas Aquinas College via the RBI single from Anthony DeMarco. 3 first-inning errors for CSI, hurting them in that spot. The error at short from Flashner, 2 bad throws from Giovanone into center. But despite the fact that the Dolphins had those errors in the inning, Michael First, to his credit, did get out of the jam and only allowed the 1 run on that hit from DeMarco. Gets 2 strikeouts as well. And stranded that last runner at third base to keep this a 1-0 game. As the Dolphins will come to bat for the first time here today, Chris Palomini, the batter for CSI, to lead this one off. On the mound today for the Spartans is Oren Winslow. We'll give you his stats in just a moment. So Winslow is ready to set, throws, and that pitch is on the outside corner for a ball, 1-0 the count. For Winslow on the season, this is going to be his 9th appearance, his 9th start. He is 1-5 in the year, has thrown a complete game. In 38 and 2/3 of an inning, has allowed 46 hits, 30 runs, 23 of those earned, 19 walks, and 30 strikeouts on the season with an ERA of 5.35. And he now has 2-1 count. That pitch is in there for a strike. Chris Palomini, as I mentioned, the leadoff hitter for the Dolphins today, hitting .356 on the season. 10 home runs, 35 RBIs. It's been a sensational year for him, and he leads this first inning off with the base hit. Palomini continues his monster season with a leadoff single. And some early trouble for the Spartans because we know the dangerous capability of Palomini to steal bases. And that'll bring up Jack Keogh now. Palomini on the year hitting is 12 for 15 in stolen base attempts on the season. That'll bring up the Dolphins freshman Jack Keogh, having another great start to his season. The freshman has been doing good work his first year with the Dolphins. As Winslow's pitch misses on the outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Keogh hitting .355 this season. 3 home runs, 23 RBIs. As another capable runner for the Dolphins if he were to get on. That one in there for a strike, count now even at 1. Quick update from softball as well. As I mentioned, they have their doubleheader with the Lions. Beloy taking an early 2-0 lead at the bottom of the first inning against CSI. So the call for pregame with my broadcast partner Joe Foreman, who was on the call for that game. We talked about the importance of that doubleheader for CSI heading into today's contest. As I mentioned, the Dolphins probably need to win at least one of those games, but the biggest doubleheader for the Dolphins comes on Tuesday against Mercy. That one hit to second, could be 2. They get the out at second, throw to first base, not nearly in time. Keogh reaches base safely. They do get the fielder's choice at second base, and there is now 1 away in the inning.
Now batting the first baseman, number
Tough play for Hillary at second base.
Vigliotti.
And a nice flip to Ewing on that play at second. It was in time for the first out of the inning. And that will bring up A.J. Vigliotti now to the plate. Vigliotti once again having another strong campaign for the Dolphins as they check out Keogh at first base. He is back in safely. Vigliotti was 2 for 4 on Thursday against the Spartans with 2 RBIs. A towering double That brought home 2 runs for the Dolphins in that game. Is that one in there for a strike, and the count now even at 1. If you look at the Dolphins lineup in that game as well against Stack, only one hitter in the starting 9 for the Dolphins did not get on base. That one hit to short. It bounces off of the shortstop Ewing and gets into shallow center. Keogh took the wide turn at second. He will head back into safely at second base. We'll see what they score that one. I would have to say that probably goes down as a base hit. Took a weird bounce at short and kind of looks similar in a sense to what happened this past Thursday against the Spartans as well for Stack. A weird bounce in at short allowed the ball to go into the outfield to give the Dolphins a run on that play. And now J.J. Hunter has himself an RBI opportunity with first and second and still 1 out in the inning. Hunter was 1 for 2 in that game, walked twice, did have an RBI as well. With a base hit right here could tie the game potentially for the Dolphins. Hunter having himself another strong start as well these last couple of weeks, but it's been another key freshman for the Dolphins this year, hitting .301 with 2 home runs and 21 RBIs. As he's now ahead of the count 2-1. So some early trouble for Winslow here. Spartans going to their best, trying to get at least the first game of this doubleheader. As Hunter will foul that one out of play, and the count now evens at 2. As I mentioned, these two teams after today's doubleheader. There's a big swing and a miss from Hunter, and he's down on the strikeout. A huge punch out for Winslow. There's now 2 away. After today's doubleheader, these two teams will meet for the final time on Monday at Stack. And then they each will have one remaining 4-game series of conference play the rest of the way. The Dolphins ending their season against Uville here at CSI. And the Lions, or I should say the Queens Knights, will take on this Stack team to end their year the same week the Dolphins play to Uville. Looking still at the Lions of Malloy at their game at the softball complex as well. That's why the confusion was there. Jaden Waterman, the batter for the Dolphins here with 2 away in the inning. Waterman hitting his first home run of the season this past Thursday. A 3-run home run in that game. Going over that right field wall. That Stack would love a big hit right here as well. As he's now behind the count 1-2. Waterman's first career home run. That home run on Thursday, and that one's on the outside for strike 3. A great pitch right there from Winslow, and he retires the side and strands 2 base runners. So both pitchers get themselves into early jams here in this game. First gave up a run, but was able to work out of the first inning and gave up the 1. Meanwhile, Oren Winslow gets himself out of the jam here in the bottom half of the first inning. We now head to the top of the second. Stack leads this one, 1-0.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back for the top of the second inning here at the baseball complex. A 1-0 lead for the Spartans at St. Thomas Aquinas College. Michael Zeiss will lead off here in the second. And he takes a first pitch ball. The count goes to 1-0. Big swing and a miss for Zeiss there. Count out even at 1. He gets to start today behind the plate. The lineup for the Spartans here today will follow. Hillary led it off. He's batting first and playing second. DeMarco, who has the RBI single, is batting second and is in left field. As that one hit down the third base line, it is fair, and he gets all the way into the Dolphin bullpen. That will at least afford him a double. Let's see if he tries to go for third, and Zeiss will hold up at second base. He is at second with a stand-up double to lead off this second inning. That one just staying fair down that third base line. And Zeiss gets himself an extra base hit to start off the top of the second. And for the second straight inning, Michael First has gotten himself into early trouble. And we'll see right here what Chris Ewing will do. Getting the start today at shortstop. Rest of the lineup follows is for the Spartans. Kyle DeCrest is batting third, playing third. Tyler Haight batting fourth and at first. Batting fifth is Nick Olcher. He's the designated hitter. Michael Zeiss, as we just saw, hitting that double. Showing bunt originally right there was Ewing. He is batting sixth or seventh. No, I was right. It was sixth originally. He's batting sixth and playing catcher. Ewing is batting seventh and at short. Batting eighth is the right fielder. That would be, I'll make sure I get that pronunciation right. That's Ben Mascatello. And batting ninth is the center fielder. That would be David Potenza. Count now 1-1 here to Ewing. Showed bunt initially, but held back and swung. They throw it, or I should say first with a fake throw to second, but the Dolphins had no one covering. So I'm not sure if that was a fake out by first or if he was expecting someone to cover the bag. It's a good thing he didn't throw it into center field. Be told that he almost was a violation of the pitch clock as well. Ewing shows the bunt, hits that one, and a nice diving catch by Giovanone. Jake Giovanone in foul territory making the diving play, and there's one away in the inning.
Now batting, the right fielder number 29, Ben.
Ewing tried to get the bunt down to move the runner to third. But the bunt went into foul territory, and Giovanone with a nice diving play. Not an easy one, having to take off the catcher's mask first and then make the diving stop, and there's now one away in the inning. Count now 1-0 here. Ben Mascatello is the batter here for the Spartans, playing right field and batting eighth in the stacked lineup. First, looking to once again escape some damage here after giving up the leadoff double. That one in there for a strike now, 1-1 the count. Mascatello on the season is hitting .273 with 4 RBIs so far. This is his 11th game of the season. He's not gotten many at-bats, but can make the most of it right here with a base hit. And he hits that one into center. Palomini is there. He camps under it and makes the catch. Tagging from second to third is Zeiss. He will get there safely with no throw. So Mascatello moves the runner over to third base, and there's now 2 away in the inning.
Now batting, the center fielder number 21, David Potenza.
And I'll bring up David Potenza now with 2 gone. Not often do you see the number 9 hitter lead the team in home runs, but that is indeed the case. Potenza comes into this game hitting .275 with 4 home runs. That leads the team. He's second on the team in RBIs with 17. Hits that one foul towards the Spartan dugout. The count goes to 0-1. Count 0-1 now here for first, and it misses on the inside and high. And the count now even at 1. If Potenza can get on, it's back to the top of the lineup for the Spartans, with Hillary on deck. 1-1 now the count. That one is drilled down the left field line, but well foul. I mentioned Potenza's home run capabilities, and he gave that one a good ride. It went down the left field line and foul, and the count now is 1-2 for first. First already with 2 strikeouts in this game, looking for a third one right here. Looking to strand that runner at third base for the second straight inning and retire the side. The 1-2. On the outside corner for strike 3. For the second straight inning, Michael First strands the runner at third base as he gets a strikeout to end the inning. The Spartans strand the runner at third as we head to the bottom half of the second inning. Stack leads this one, 1-0. Michael Flashner will lead it off here at the bottom half of the second inning. Stack still leads this game 1-0. Michael First works himself out of another jam in that previous half inning. As Winslow's first pitch is on the outside for a strike, the count goes to 0-1. Dolphin lineup follows. Palomini leading it off this game in center field. Batting second is the right fielder Jack Keogh. Missed on the inside for a ball. 1-1 the count. Batting third and at first base, A.J. Vigliotti. Batting fourth, the designated hitter J.J. Hunter. Batting fifth, the left fielder Jaden Waterman. At the plate currently, and batting sixth is number 3, the shortstop Michael Flashner. Batting seventh, and then on deck is the third baseman number 10, T.J. Leno. Batting eighth and behind the plate is number 12, Jake Giovanone. And rounding out the Dolphin lineup is number 2, the second baseman, Nico Rodriguez. 2-1 here to Flashner. And that one in there for a strike now, counting even to 2. Warren Winslow worked out of a jam as well in his first inning of work. Dolphins at first and second, but not able to bring home a run as Flasher hits a big swing and a miss for strike 3. Another strikeout for Winslow in this one, and there's now one away. Update from the softball complex. Malloy now leads their game 3-0 over the Dolphins as the Lions are in search of their 10th conference win of the season. T.J. Leno now the batter here for CSI with one away in the second. And that one's in there for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. Mentioned that Winslow has a very nice strike number on the season with 30. as Lano hits that one into shallow right. Could be a tough play, but it will be caught out in right field. And there's now 2 away. Mascatello was the one that made that catch out there in right.
The catcher, number 12, Jake Giovino.
I'll bring up Jake Giovino now with 2 gone in the inning. We saw Jake Giovino before today. The last time Giovino had played was when the Dolphins took on the Knights of Queens College. That one in there for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. That, of course, was here at the baseball complex, and in that game, we saw Giovino get taken out early after it looked like he injured his hand. He gets his first appearance since. He is now at a 1-1 count here. And a breaking ball from Winslow is in there for the strike, and now it's 1-2. And before that injury had happened, Giovino was starting to pick it up for the Dolphins. Had a very nice game where he stole 4 bases for CSI against Bloomfield. As he bloops that one into left center field, could be a tough play. But the catch is made out in center field by Potenza, and that will retire the side. The Dolphins go down 1-2-3 here in the home second. We head to the top of the third. Sack leads this one, 1-0.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Back here for the top of the third inning here at the baseball complex. A 1-0 lead still for Stack in this one between Spartans and the Dolphins. Back to the top of the lineup for Stack here in this third inning. Ryan Hillary is the batter. He reached via an error his first time. Then get a stolen base and then go to third on another error for the Dolphins. They will come around to score on the RBI single from DeMarco. Has an early 1-0 count here. Now it misses on the inside for a ball. Count now 2-0. Last time we saw Michael first pitch was in that relief appearance against Adelphi. His last start came in what undoubtedly was the wildest doubleheader we've ever called here at CSI Sportsnet. That doubleheader against Mercy. He started game 2 of that game. Went 3 1/3 on that one. 8 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. Dolphins went out to lose that game 18-16. A game where we had multiple players hitting multi-homers. I believe 7 home runs of the night, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I'm doing the math here now. Correction, 8 home runs that night between the Mavericks and the Dolphins. Count now is 3-1 here for first. That one is hit in foul territory. Vigliotti is there. He will make the catch. And there's one away. So for the first time in this game, First is able to retire the first batter of the inning. Now bring up Anthony DeMarco. DeMarco responsible for the lone run in this one so far with that RBI single back in the first inning. He now comes up with nobody on and 1 out here in the third. As that one misses high and outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Very quick second inning for CSI batting. They're hoping that Michael First can get them at 1-2-3 third. That one hit into foul territory, hopefully not near the camera. And they got to play. I'll have to make sure that if there's any foul ball that hopefully is not remotely close to the camera, I have to be ready on a short notice to make a play. That one hit towards first on a soft liner, and it's caught by Vigliotti, and there's now 2 away. So Vigliotti with the first 2 putouts of this third inning. Kyle DeCrest now will come up with 2 gone. DeCrest 0 for 1 in this game, went down on the strikeout his first time as he hits that one into foul territory. Now, I don't know what that hit. Made it a very awkward sound, and I'm hoping it's not anyone's automobile. Big swing and a miss right there from DeCrest, and he's now down the count 0-2. For those that don't know, you don't park on the first 2 rows when you're here at the baseball complex. You need to make sure you park in that third row. You'll be able to avoid any foul balls. The count now 0-2 for First. That one misses on the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-2. Now 1-2 count here for First. Looking for another punch out in this game. And he hits that one, DeCrest, into foul territory. And for the second time in the inning, it's caught in foul territory by Vigliotti. He makes all 3 putouts, and the Dolphins retire the side. Michael First with a 1-2-3 top of the third. The Dolphins come to bat in the bottom half of the third inning. They trail this one 1-0.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
Nico Rodriguez will lead off here in the home third. Both pitchers getting 1-2-3 back-to-back innings. And Oren Winslow will come back out here for the third. He'll face 9-1-2 in the inning for the Dolphins. Rodriguez, Palomini, and Keogh. As Rodriguez showed bunt in there for a strike, the count goes to 0-1. Having a little bit of a laugh during our last break between myself and our public address announcer Lou Matrone today. With both softball and baseball going on, 2 public address announcers. It's the battle of who can be the loudest here today. Obviously, Lou with the microphone here today. That's usually very loud. here at the baseball complex. But the softball complex can get very loud with their microphone as well. So we'll see who wins at the end of the day. Update from softball will be in just a moment. The count right here for Rodriguez is now 1-2. He hits that one up the middle. Going to be a tough play for Ewing at short. He will have no play. It's an infield single for Rodriguez to kick off the third inning. Rodriguez has been hot as of late for the Dolphins. He gets himself an infield single to start off this third. And just what the Dolphins wanted to start the inning, because now they go back to the top of the lineup for Chris Palomini. And even if Ewing is able to make the play up the middle, it would have been really tough to throw Rodriguez out at first base. As that one misses for a ball, the count goes to 1-0. The update from softball, it's now 3-1. Malloy leads that game over the Dolphins. The Dolphins getting on the board for the first time today. Alyssa Acosta with an RBI hit. That one skips in the dirt, but a good job behind the plate right there by Zeiss as he keeps it in front of him. But it's an early 2-0 count now here for Palomini. So an early hitter's count here for the Dolphins center fielder. If you're Winslow, don't want to give him anything to hit with the way he's been swinging this season. As he has to back out of the way on that one. The count now goes to 3-0. 3-0 count here for Palomini. And that one on the outside for a strike, and the count goes to 3-1. I'm sure the Dolphin faithful here at the baseball complex thought that was ball 4. As I mentioned, a very late strike call for the home plate umpire, so have to wait before I make the point of if it's a strike or not. It's now 3-1 here. Winslow gets a very long look behind the plate. Now looks towards first, and here comes his 3-1 pitch. That one hit towards third and threw it for a base hit. Palomini is now on, but Rodriguez trips, and thankfully for the Dolphins, he gets back in safely. That could have been disaster for CSI right there. Rodriguez took the wide turn off a second, thought about going third after a short bobble in left field, and at the very tail end was able to get back in safely. And now a dangerous spot here for the Spartans. Once again, first and second. This time, though, nobody out in the inning. Jack Keogh comes up to the plate, and it'd be very tough. He's had a batting average over 350 on the season. I can't imagine them wanting him to bunt in this spot, but I would not be surprised if they maybe asked him to bunt with Vigliotti on deck. That might be the discussion they're having on the mound right now for the Spartans, to be worried about a potential bunt for Keogh in this spot. I wanted to make a note as well for Chris Palomini in that last at bat. Palomini came in today with 10 home runs. That already puts him tied for 9th on the all-time record for most home runs in a season. Tom DiPietro had 10 back in 2009. Correction. Once again, I was looking at the wrong stat. That one hit down the third base line. Skill was showing the bump, but it goes foul. When you look at the all-time records, there's 2 different records in terms of home run. That one being total. Palomini certainly will put himself into the top category for that. For home runs in a season, Palomini now is in second place alone. So he's already made some history this season with his stats. As they'll check Rodriguez at second. Maybe hit off of Rodriguez. Both runners are going to advance a base. Rodriguez thought about going, and now the Dolphins are going to be in a rundown. Palomini was going towards third. Now they have to think about where they're going to throw this. Palomini is going to get to third potentially. Now Rodriguez is in a rundown. I have never seen this, folks. Rodriguez is still going, and they get the tag. A very unfamiliar and very confusing play. The ball was thrown towards second base, in an attempt to pick off Rodriguez. It potentially hit off of Rodriguez, went into center field. Palomini on that play went from first to third, thinking that right there it was going to be Rodriguez going to home, and it led to a rundown from second to third, and then a rundown from third to home. A very costly first out for the Dolphins right there, as now Keogh is in a 2-strike count. Well, for our statistician, I do have the replay. So if they need to stat that one down, I will have it for them. That one misses on the inside. The count now goes to 1-2. It's so long of a replay that I probably won't be able to show it here. But I will have it ready just in case. It's now a 1-2 count here for Keogh. Now a runner on third and one out of the inning. And Keogh swings and misses for strike 3. And just like that, in the blink of an eye, the Dolphins go from first and second, nobody out, to now a runner on third and 2 outs. And it will be up to A.J. Vigliotti now to try to bring home that runner from third. Now misses in the dirt for a ball, 1-0 the count. Had to relay the message that there was 2 outs on the board. That put out down the third base line the first out. That strikeout for Keogh was out number 2. As I mentioned, now it's up to Vigliotti to try to bring home the run. Once again in the dirt, but once again a good stop by Zeiss, and there's now a 2-0 count. If you're CSI, they're not able to get the run back in this inning. They can't bring home that runner from third. They go on to lose this game potentially. That could haunt them going into game number 2. It's now a 3-0 count out here to Vigliotti. Be very surprised if they gave him the green light in this spot. Stranger things have happened these last couple of weeks, both at softball and at baseball. The 3-0, and it misses on the outside for ball 4. So Winslow didn't want to give Vigliotti anything good to hit. He walks him on 4 straight. And now we'll bring up J.J. Hunter. So let's see now if Hunter can do something here with 2 gone in the inning. Winslow is able to get himself out of this jam. The Spartans, you'll definitely take that. Looked like he worked himself into trouble early in this inning. And now he hits Hunter, and Hunter, that did not look good. That might have hit him either on the elbow or maybe on the wrist. He is into some discomfort badly right now behind the plate and towards the third base line. That definitely caught him on the elbow. That's why you see sometimes players wearing elbow pads to avoid stuff like that. So we'll see if they need to check on him. For now, he's going to stay into the game. But you can see it, folks. He is in pain right now going down that first base line. That being his left elbow. That looks like he's got the discomfort in right now. So now the Dolphins have the bases loaded. And now Jaden Waterman will come up in a huge spot for CSI.
Now batting the left fielder, number 1, Jaden Waterman.
Talked about in his last at-bat, Waterman hitting his first career home run on Thursday against the Spartans. Now comes up here with 2 gone in the inning. Bases loaded and a 1-0 lead for Stack in this game. We're going to try a tie or take the lead with a base hit right here. Takes a big swing and a miss on that off-speed pitch from Winslow, and the count goes to 0-1. The 0-1 on the outside for a ball, 1-1 the count. Palomini at third, Vigliotti at second, Hunter at first. Waterman the batter with 2 gone, and the Dolphins trailing by 1. The 1-1. Misses low and outside for your ball. 2-1 to count. Winslow cannot afford a walk here. No empty bases. If he were to walk Waterman, that would tie the game at 1. The 2-1. That one hit foul and out of play. And it's now 2-2. So Winslow now 1 strike away from once again stranding base runners for the Dolphins in this inning. Looking for his 5th strikeout of this game as well. Here comes the 2-2. Hit foul behind the plate. Winslow had some trouble in the first inning, was able to work out of that. Has even further trouble here in the third, but is 1 strike away from getting out of it. Here comes the next 2-2. And it misses low and outside for ball 3. So an early pivotal pitch in this game for these two sides. Full count, 3-2. The runners will go on this next pitch. Nowhere to put Waterman on the bases. There goes the runners. And that one misses inside for ball 4. Waterman works the walk. He brings home the Dolphins' first run. And the Dolphins tie this game at 1 apiece. A nice at-bat right there for Waterman. Earns himself an RBI walk. And now ties this game up for the Dolphins. And that'll bring up Michael Flashner now with 2 gone. Looking to give CSI their first lead of the day. As he hits that one foul and out of play. Tough break for Winslow after getting that run down and then getting Keogh off the strikeout. He had the runner on third with 2 gone in the inning. He walked Vigliotti on 4 in a row. He then hit Hunter to load the bases. And then he walked Waterman to now tie the game. Flashner swinging and miss there, now makes the count 0-2. We've seen the Dolphins this season have some big 2-out rallies. Another 2-out rally here as the count goes to 1-2 and the Dolphin shortstop. Base hit here. Gives CSI the lead. That's 1-2. That one chopped to first. That's going to be a tough play. There is no play. It's off the first baseman's glove. That will go into right center and allow the Dolphins to get 2 runs. It's an unusual 2-run single for Michael Flashner, and the Dolphins will take a 3-1 lead. We have seen some unusual plays so far in this game. But once again, the Dolphins continuing their good season of 2-out base hits. We'll see how they score it. It was going to be a single regardless. But with the ball hitting off of the first baseman's glove, it allowed the ball to go into right center and allow that second run to score. As TJ Leno hit that one foul and out of play. Dolphins fortunate enough to not get another rundown right there. They already had 1 mishap on the base path earlier in this inning. As Leno hits that one foul, the count now goes to 0-2. So we'll talk it over the next half inning to see what the official scoring for that play was. It looks like right now it's a 2-run single. Leno hits that one into deep right. This one could be trouble. This one takes a 1 bounce off the wall. 1 run will score. Here comes the second runner. He will score. 2-run double for TJ Leno. A 5-run third inning for the Dolphins. All coming with 2 outs. They take a 5-1 lead. TJ Leno drilling that ball into right field. Almost inches away from a 3-run homer. He gets himself a 2-run double and extends the Dolphin lead to 4. Another 2-out rally for CSI that we've seen the last couple weeks. They continue it here today with another big hit, this time coming from their third baseman. And you could tell right off of the bat that Leno knew he had a big hit. And he gets home 2 more for CSI. And that brings up Jake Giovano now. That one in there for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. I mentioned it. A tough break for Winslow. He had the inning almost done. Runner on third, 2 outs. A walk, a hit by a pitch, a walk, a 2-run single, and now a 2-run double. As now the Spartans have action going up in their bullpen. That first pitch missed inside, or I should say that second pitch missed inside. And the count goes to 1-1. The 1-1. In there for a strike now, 1-2. If Giovanone is able to get on, Rodriguez comes up next, and the Dolphins will bat around the inning. The 1-2. Skips in the dirt for a ball, 2-2 the count. Andrew Alameda is up in the bullpen for the Spartans. They're hoping that right here Winslow can get out of this third. Giovanone hits a dribbler towards the mound, and I think they're going to rule it a foul ball. And they ruled catcher's interference. So they said Zeiss interfered with the swing, and that will allow Giovanone to go to first base. Another costly break for the Spartans in this inning. And that will afford the Dolphins another batter towards the plate, I should say. As I mentioned, it's back to Rodriguez, who led off the inning with the base hit. So the Dolphins have come around to bat around here in this third. Rodriguez got things started with the single, was then caught in that rundown as that one skipped in the dirt for a ball. Nice stop by Zeiss. Leafs keeps it in front. It's now a 1-0 count. If you're Winslow, he needs this out right here. It's back to the Dolphins, top of the lineup after Rodriguez. As the count now goes to 1-1. He hits that one foul. I mentioned this all with 2 outs. CSI has done this damage. Not the first time we've seen it happen this season for the Dolphins. And it's a big reason why they're right now second in the ECC standings. And with a win in this first game, would put themselves at 8-6 in conference play. 2-1 now, the count here to the Dolphins' second baseman. On the outside corner for a strike now, 2-2 the count. Spartans need to make sure that they can limit this damage here to 5. So a lot of game to go. But a 5-run inning has really hurt them in this one. As now the count goes full at 3-2. So for the second time in the inning, it's a full count here for Winslow. The runners will go. He walked in a run the last time he had a full count. If he walks Rodriguez here, he will load the bases for the second time. Here comes the 3-2. Runners go, and it skips in the dirt for ball 4. So Rodriguez is on once again for the second time in the inning, this time via the walk. And now a really dangerous spot here for Stack. Bases loaded, and now arguably the Dolphins' best hitter coming to the plate at Chris Palomini. That will lead to a mound visit here between Zeiss and Winslow. And you got to wonder, is this just buying some time for the Spartans to make the pitching change? Palomini is coming to bat for the 3rd time in this game and the 2nd time in this inning. He's already 2 for 2 on the day with 2 singles. Boy, would he love a 3 for 3 start. I mentioned it already. With his 10 home runs in the season, he's now second on the CSI all-time list for most home runs in the season. Now it misses low for a ball, 1-0 the count. Now in terms of RBIs for a season, we'll have to see what his number is for that in his total season, where he currently lists on that ranking. If I'm looking at the right stat, we'll see what Palomini has on the season in terms of RBIs. It's now a 1-1 count. That one's in there for a strike now. The count goes to 1-2. In terms of RBIs, 35 this year for Palomini. He is one away from tying his mark from last season, which was 36. That shows you how good of a hitter he's been this year. 35 RBIs in total last year. And the Dolphins still have a lot more games left on this season. He's in well line to break that mark. And he'll do it with that hit right there. That hits in the left, takes a bad bounce, and slips past the left fielder. 1 run scores, 2 runs score. Here comes Rodriguez. He will score. Bases clearing double for Palomini. The Dolphins have opened up this game. It's now 8-1 CSI. We have talked about it so many times on the broadcast. Sometimes when the ball's hit into the outfield, there's little divots that make the ball bounce a certain way. That is exactly what happened on that play in left field. Palomini would have brought home at least 2, but because of the bad bounce, it allowed Rodriguez to score all the way from first base, and the Dolphins, with an 8-run third inning, have knocked Oren Winslow out of the game, and the Spartans will now go to a pitching change here. As we come back from the commercial break, the Dolphins will face a new pitcher here at the bottom of the third. They now lead this game 8-1.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
Andrew Alameda will be the new pitcher for the Spartans here in the third. And what an inning this has been for the Dolphins. The inning started off disastrous after CSI got 2 singles. Then a pickoff attempt at second allowed the Dolphins to move up a base, but they tried to move up an extra base, and it caught the Dolphins at a rundown down the third base line. A costly first out there, followed by a strikeout, gave the Dolphins 2 outs of the inning with a runner on third. Following that, a walk to Vigliotti, hit by a pitch to Hunter, a walk to Waterman to tie the game, and then 2-run single from Michael Flasher to give the Dolphins the lead, a 2-run double for TJ Leno to give the Dolphins a 5-1 lead. Then we saw Jake Giovanone reach on a catcher's interference. Rodriguez worked the walk, and then Palomini gets a 3-run single. That one takes another bad bounce, but nicely played out at second base right there for the Spartans by Hillary, and that will retire the side. So probably one of the more unusual innings we've seen here at the baseball complex happens, and it works in the Dolphins' favor. They put up 8 runs here in the third to take an 8-1 lead, now heading to the top of the fourth inning.
If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
And we are back for the top of the fourth inning here at the CSI Baseball Complex. A brand new ball game here between the Dolphins and the Spartans. An 8-run, 2-out rally for CSI is now giving them an 8-1 lead here in the top of the fourth. And now Michael First has himself a 7-run cushion in this game. As that one's in there for a strike, the count goes to 0-1. I think I have the right alignment for that rundown play as well. I'll have to double check as well during this break, but I believe the putout on the play was 4-2-6-2-5 on that rundown play at third base for Rodriguez. It's now a 1-2 count here for Michael First. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 up in the inning for the Spartans. Haight, Ulcher, and Zeiss. The 1-2. This is low for ball 2. The count even at 2 apiece. It's always a spectacle when you come to these games at CSI. As he hits that one down the third base line to foul. Michael First has got to be wondering himself, how do I keep getting involved in these crazy games these last couple of weeks? I mentioned the last time First started a game was that 18-16 marathon between Mercy. He got a relief appearance against Adelphi this past week. As Haight hits that one high and into shallow right. It'll be Rodriguez out in shallow right field to make the catch. And there's now one away.
Now batting, the designated hitter number 5, Nick.
First now in this game, trailed early 1-0. And then got an 8 spot via a couple of base hits, I think an error as well. A huge third inning for CSI. Big swing and a miss for a strike 0-1. That one had fouled out of play. Just needed to relay a message over towards our public address announcer, so I'll be off the headset for just a moment, folks. All right, I had to relay that message over towards our statistician as well as the public address announcer. It's a base hit right there where the Spartans with 1 out in the inning. Basically coming off of Ulcher. Michael Zeiss now the batter here. Hit a double his first time around. Had to help them stat the rundown that happened down the third base line. Officially, I had it marked down as a 4.2625 putout on that play. As Zeiss hits that one into right. Kia was there. He makes the catch, and there's now 2 away in the inning. So first, bounces back after giving up the 1-out single. Again, the fly out. Chris Ewing will now come up with 2 gone. See if I can get an update from softball as well while we have a moment. The pickoff attempt is not there in time. Still a 3-1 lead for Malloy in the top of the 5th inning. Lions, as I mentioned, looking for their 10th conference win. The Dolphins looking for conference win number 6. As once again, first checks the runner over at first base and not a time. Chris Ewing, as I mentioned, is the batter. He takes the first pitch strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Ewing on the day 0 for 1. Misses on the inside for a ball, 1-1 to count. So the official ruling of that play and left for Palomini. It was a single into left. And because of the misstep for DeMarco in left field where he slid down and allowed another run to score, that being the 3rd run scored of that inning, that would become an unearned run via the error. So 2 errors now in the game for the Spartans. Dolphins had those 3 errors back in the first inning. That last foul ball by Ewing keeps the count at 2-2. I go first, looking for another strikeout here to retire the side. Here comes the 2-2. Drill towards short and caught by Flashner. Flashner had to make a quick decision on the read, and he made it in time and retires the side. The Spartans stranded runner here in the top of the 4th. We now head to the home 4th inning. Dolphins lead this one 8-1.
In NCAA Division II, student athletes leave a lasting impression on their communities. That's because Division II student athletes want to make a difference and truly be part of their surrounding communities. Through community engagement, thousands of student athletes from various backgrounds interact with community members who view them as role models. This interaction leaves a positive and perhaps even life-changing impression on all those involved. In Division II, we rise to the opportunity and make community engagement ours.
And we are back for the home 4th here at the CSI Baseball Complex. 8-1 lead for CSI here in this contest with the Spartans, as it will be 3, 4, and 5 for the Dolphins in the inning. Bigliotti, Hunter, and Waterman. As I mentioned in that last inning for the Spartans, they had a new pitching change. Andrew Alameda will be the new pitcher. He only threw 1 pitch in that last inning to retire Jack Keogh via the ground ball. First pitch to Vigliotti missed for a ball. Count goes to 1-0. Vigliotti got the 2-out rally starter for the Dolphins, earning a 4-pitch walk. Now it misses on the inside, 2-0 now the count. He would come around to score on that 2-run single from Flashner. Actually might be out of misplaying. I think he believed he scored on the Leno 2-run single. Nope, I was right. It was the Flashner base hit. Always have to double check myself. After a long inning like that, who could really blame me? 3-0 count is in there for a strike now. 3-1 now the count. As I mentioned, one of the more unusual innings we've had at the baseball complex. As Vigliotti will work a walk. He's on base once again via the walk. And the Dolphins have a leadoff base runner.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 19, J.J. Hunter.
I'll bring up J.J. Hunter. It's a good sign to see him still in the game. Hit by the pitch his last time up on the elbow, it looked like. He remains in this contest for CSI. He's 0 for 1, scored on that T.J. Leno hit. As he takes the first pitch strike, the count goes 0-1. Count now 1-1. On the outside corner for a strike. Hunter not pleased with the call behind the plate, and the count goes to 1-2. Off-speed pitch is fouled off by Hunter. He remains the count 1-2. Do it again here at 1-2. That one hit into center. Looks to be playable for Potenza. He will make the catch. And Vigliotti will trot back to first base, and there's now one away in the inning.
Now batting the left fielder, number 1, Jaden Waterman.
Brings up Jaden Waterman now with one gone in the inning. Waterman got the Dolphins' first run of the game. He worked a walk with the bases loaded and tied the contest at 1 apiece. And what seems like was a long time ago when that happened. The first of 8 runs for the Dolphins in that inning. The first pitch was swung on a miss for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. The 0-1. Misses high and outside. 1-1 now the count. Waterman hits that one into left. DeMarco will make the diving catch. DeMarco stepped back for a second and then had to run in. And he makes the nice catch out in left field, and there's now 2 away in the inning.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Michael Flashner.
Michael Flashner comes up with 2 gone in the inning. Flashner responsible for giving the Dolphins their first lead of the day with that 2-run single. Flashner hit the ball towards right field, but the defensive alignment hurt the Spartans on that play. The ball was hit towards the first baseman, Haight, and then the ball went and hit off the glove of Haight, and that allowed not only 1 run to score, but it allowed the second run to score. It's officially now a 2-run single. We'll have to see if they maybe have to change the scoring for that later on. That's now a 2-run single. It's the reason why the Dolphins took the lead. And Flash now early has a 2-0 count here. 2-0. In there for a strike now, 2-1. 2-1. Big swing and miss from Flasher. Now evens the count at 2. So Alameda now 1 strike away from retiring the side and leaving a runner on first base here in the home 4th. That one hit down the left field line toward the Dolphin dugout and foul. Do it again here on 2-2. And misses low for ball 3. So the count now goes full at 3-2. Bigliotti at first base will get a head start as well. So if Flasher is able to get something into one of the gaps, it could bring Bigliotti going on this next pitch. Comes to 3-2. There goes Bigliotti. And that one might have been foul tipped, and it was foul tipped into the glove for strike 3. So Alameda will strand the runner on first base to retire the side. As we now head to the top of the 5th inning here at the CSI Baseball Complex, the Dolphins still lead this one by a score of 8-1.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You can vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Ben Mascatello will lead off here in the top of the 5th. 8-1 lead for the Dolphins in this game. Both teams with 3 errors. The Dolphins with 7 hits. Spartans with 3. And Mascatello hits his first pitch into right field. And just like that, 1 pitch, 1 out as Keogh makes the play in right. Huge update in the CSI softball game down at the softball complex. A brand new ball game between the Dolphins and the Lions. That game now knotted up at 3 apiece. Eileen Balderas with a 2-run single has tied the game for CSI in a game that you could make the case the Dolphins really need at least one of those games. That one bunted down the third base line. Tough play for Leno. Not in time. The Dolphins almost getting the out at first. But a great job base running right down the first base line. Potenza just got there safely. And he's on with a bunt single with 1 away in the inning. Great play from Leno, just not in time. We'll show the replay in just a moment. Ryan Hillary, the batter here, with 1 away. And now a runner on first. The count goes to 0-1. Last second, Potenza showing the bunt. It's a well-placed bunt. And he just beat the throw by a step. The 0-1 to Hillary. Hit to third towards Leno, but under the glove and into left field for a base hit. Going from first to third is going to be Potenza. Staying at first base is Hillary. He's on with for the second time today, I should say, his first hit of the game. And it's now first and third with still one out in the inning. I'll bring up Anthony DeMarco now, who is still responsible for the lone run in this game for the Spartans, now coming back in the first inning. That one hit into right field, in for a base hit. That one's going to bring home the runner in Potenza. It's an RBI single for Anthony DeMarco, his second RBI hit of the game. He's responsible for both runs for the Spartans as they now trail this game 8-2. DeMarco found that spot where Rodriguez and Vigliotti could not make the play. And the Dolphins' lead has now been trimmed down to 6. As we'll see Mike Morrow make a mound visit here. No action right now up in the Dolphin bullpen as of yet. Looks like momentarily there will be. After the mound visit here, first pitch from first. This is on the inside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Kyle DeCrest, the batter here. DeCrest on the day 0 for 2. Has a chance to keep trimming the lead once again. That one hit towards short, will be a tough double play ball. They'll have to settle for the one. Did they get the out is the question, and they do get the out at first base. The throw took Vigliotti off the bag, but he was able to make the tag on DeCrest, and there's now 2 gone in the inning. Flasher almost charged with his second error of this contest. His first baseman saved it right there. It'll be up to Tyler Haight now as they will have his conversation at the first base line to see if that was indeed the right call. Hayden Kilty right now up in the Dolphin bullpen. Call was confirmed at the plate, so now 2 gone in the inning. And Tyler Haight hits that one foul. Count goes to 0-1. Spartans looking for their own 2-out rally here. Now down by 6. It misses high and inside for a ball now. 1-1 the count. As I mentioned, as this game goes along, we keep giving updates for our CSI fans in terms of their CSI softball team. That pitch in there for a strike now, and the count goes to 1-2. As I mentioned, a very late strike call. So, as I mentioned, have to wait a little bit before I can make the assumption if it's a ball or strike. First now has a 1-2 count here. Looking for another punch out in this game to retire the side. The 1-2. And a nice stop behind the plate by Giovanone. That would have surely brought home 1 run right there. As the count now evens at 2. Haight on the day, 0 for 2. Here comes the 2-2. Did that hit him is the question, and it looks like he just missed from hitting him. Misses high and inside for ball 3. And now the count is full at 3-2. So first is in danger of walking Haight and loading the bases. With Nick Ulcher on deck. Here's the 3-2. Hit down the third base line, but foul. So we'll do it again here on 3-2. It'll be 3-2 once again from first. And Haight hits that one in foul territory toward the Dolphin bullpen. And they are not able to make the play. Lena was playing a little bit towards the fence. Wasn't able to make the play. Rodriguez was the closest towards the ball. But not an easy play to make when you're having to deal with the mound that is in the bullpen. So it awards the Spartans another pitch right here. Once again, 3-2. 2 outs of the inning. And now 8-2 lead for CSI in this game here in the fifth. Here comes the 3-2. And it misses low and inside for ball 4. So a nice at bat right there for Tyler Haight. Fouled off a couple of pitches, kept the count at full. He works a 2-out walk and now loads the bases. And Nick Ulcher's got himself a great chance right here. With one swing, could even further cut this CSI lead. Ulcher hits that one towards short. Flasher thought about going the short way. Now he has to go the long way, and he can't make the play. Ulcher is able to reach via this. It looks like we'll go down as a single. And it now cuts the CSI lead to 5. It is 8-3 Dolphins. Pretty much a no man's land play right there for Flasher. He wanted to go the short way on that play. But Rodriguez was not there in time to make the play at second base to cover the bag. That forced Flasher to go to first. And Ulcher did a good job of getting down the baseline to now make this a 5-run game. And Michael Zeiss now comes up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Zell misses on the outside for ball, 1-0 the count. Another update from softball. The Dolphins now have taken the lead 4-3 in that game. They are heading to the top of the 6th inning. Dolphins 6 outs away from a big Game 1 victory in their doubleheader with the Lions. Fouled off, count now 1-1. Joe and I talked about the importance of this doubleheader here today. An even bigger doubleheader Tuesday against the Mavericks of Mercer University. Big games for the Dolphins softball team, as well as this Dolphins baseball team. As Zeiss hits that one into left center. A couple of Dolphins converging on the play. They are not able to make the play. 2 runs will score. Here comes the 3rd run. He will score as well. Zeiss will clear the bases and bring home 3 more runs. And just like that, it's now an 8-6 lead for CSI. Zeiss found the one spot in the outfield where the Dolphins were not able to make the play. And just like CSI had back in the 3rd inning, Stack now has gotten themselves a 2-out rally and has now made this a 2-run game, and they now bring the tying run to the plate. CSI hoping that first can at least get out of the 5th inning before him having to make a potential pitching change. First pitch to Chris Ewing, missed inside for a ball, 1-0 the count. I mentioned that game against Mercy earlier on in the broadcast. It misses for a ball, 2-0. The Dolphins in that game had at one point a 9-run lead. It was 10-1 Dolphins. And as I mentioned, they went on to lose. They had a 7-run lead in this game. And with one swinger in danger of now having a tie game. And now it's a 3-0 count here for Ewing. Dolphin faithful certainly hoping for no deja vu here today. That count now goes 3-1. Game 1, a 9-inning game. Game 2, 7 innings of this doubleheader here today at the baseball complex. 3-1. On the outside for strike 2. Ewing thought he had a free pass right there via the walk. But once again, Michael First is a strike away from getting out of the inning and holding on to this current Dolphin lead. He looks over his ice. Here comes the 3-2. Ewing hits that one into right. Keogh is there. He will make the catch, and that will retire the side. So the Spartans do strand a runner in scoring position here in the 5th inning, but not before they bring home 5 runs here in the 5th. They now make this an 8-6 game as we head to the home 5th inning.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials, live music, and the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dine-in order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Bottom of the 5th inning here at the CSI Baseball Complex. And once again, a brand new ball game. It's now a 2-run lead for the Dolphins after a 5-run 5th inning for the Spartans. And TJ Leno rips that one foul. Count goes 0-1. His last at bat, a big 2-run double that at that point gave the Dolphins a 5-1 lead. Meanwhile, at the softball complex, they are 3 outs away from an all-important conference win over Malloy. Game that necessarily won't hurt the Lions as much, but Joe and I mentioned it in the pregame. The Lions still fighting for the number 1 seed in the ECC standings. TJ Leno hits that one into right. Looks to be playable out in right field. And it almost wasn't. What a catch in right. It looked at first it was going to be routine potentially for Mascatello, and he had to keep going further back. That ball kept carrying out into right field, and he had to make a diving catch at the very tail end to get the first down of this inning. Sometimes a fly ball plays tricks on you here at the baseball complex on a day where there's not as much wind. If there is any wind, it's going out into right field, which is normal for these games here. But temperature in the 80s today as Giovanone hits that one. Going to be a tough play at third base. Down, throw for third, not in time. Ball goes into the outfield and towards the dugout, or I should say the bullpen of the Spartans. That will allow Giovanone to go to second base. That will likely go down as a hit and an error on the play. I think even if the play is scooped up.
Now batting the second baseman, number 2, Nico Ryan.
even if the play is scooped up on that one correctly, it's gonna be a base hit for Giovanone. So I'll have to relay that in just a moment. It's a single and an error on the play. Now the Dolphins have a runner on second. All right. First pitch is in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. So it goes down as a hit and error on the play. Fourth error of the game now for the Spartans. And Nico Rodriguez comes up. He's had a nice day at the plate so far in this one. Misses on the outside for the count. Now goes to 1-1. Rodriguez so far today 1 for 1. Has walked. He's gotten a base hit. Has scored a run in this contest. He's now up at the count 2-1. For Alameda, you want to get this out right here. Dolphins top of the lineup coming up on deck. It'll be the fourth time they've come to bat today. As it misses on the inside for ball 3. And Rodriguez now is one pitch away from working a 1-out walk. As of now, no action up in either bullpen. We did see Aiden Kilty for the Dolphins in that previous half inning. We'll see if he comes out for the 6th inning. But no one up in the stack bullpen as of now, as the count goes full at 3-2. Dolphins did not get any insurance runs down at softball, so they go into the 7th, up a run. 3 outs away from the victory in that game. Close 1-run contest in that one. Close 2-run contest in this one, as Rodriguez draws the 1-out walk. Now I'll bring up Chris Palomini. Palomini, what a start to this game. 3 for 3 with 2 RBIs already. He comes up to bat for the 4th time already in this game. And will look to add another RBI to his plate already. That one in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. The last time he came up to the plate and got that single, I had mentioned in that at bat that he was 1 RBI away from having more RBIs than he had last season. That last hit that brought home 2 now puts him at 37 RBIs for the season. That is now 17th best all time for runs batted in a single season for the Dolphins. And as I mentioned, still a long ways to go in this season for CSI as well. Count now goes to 0-2. Palomini will hit that one foul. And I don't know what that hit. That did not sound good. I think that hit a car. The way it sounded and the way the people groaned, it definitely hit a car, folks. Hopefully no damage. Another 0-2. And it misses on the outside for a ball. 1-2 now the count. Well, Palomini did some damage on the outside to maybe someone's car. He would like to do some damage right here and give the Dolphins an even further lead than they have currently. But he swings and misses in the dirt for a strike 3. Palomini, it looked like maybe foul-tipped it as well. But a good job by Zeiss behind the plate to hold on to the ball. There's now 2 gone in the inning. It'll be up to Jack Keogh now with 2 gone to try and bring home one of those runners. A rare 0 for 3 start to this game for Keogh. To think that he's already batting for the 4th time today as well. We still have a couple more innings left in this contest. As the count goes to 0-1. 1-1 now, the count here to the Dolphin right fielder. And that one skips in the dirt. It goes to the backstop. And that will allow both base runners now to move up a base. So now Jack Keogh goes from a 1 RBI opportunity to now having a chance to bring home 2 runners with just the base hit right here. Keel was the first batter that Alameda faced out of the bullpen. Retired him on just one pitch back in that third inning. Going to retire him once again and keep the runners stranded. That one hit into play to the third baseman and caught. And Alameda will once again retire Keel for the second time today, and that will retire the side. As the Dolphins strand 2 base runners here in the home fifth, we now head to the top of the sixth inning. Sachs is now down within 2. It's an 8-6 lead for the Dolphins.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back here at the baseball complex where the Dolphins bring in a new pitcher here. In the top of the sixth inning is going to be Aiden Kilty on the mound for CSI here in the top of the sixth. For Kilty, this will be his 9th appearance of the season. He has a record of 1-3 with an ERA of 5.84. He's pitching 24 and 2/3 of an inning, He's allowed 30 hits, 22 runs, 16 earned, 17 walks, and 15 strikeouts and walks. Certainly have been a concern for Kilty this season. Dolphins hoping that I won't play them here in this inning.
Leading off the Spartans, the right fielder number 29, Ben Mascatello.
Ben Mascatello will lead off here in the top of the sixth. As Kilty's first pitch in there for a strike, the count goes to 0-1. 8-9-1 in this inning for the Spartans. And meanwhile, I do hear some cheers going down at softball. They might have gone final at their game. I am on at a little bit of delay watching their game right now as well. And the Dolphins have picked up the win. I hear our public address announcer at softball, Joe Calabrese. How could you not hear him here at the baseball complex? CSI picks up a much-needed 4-3 victory over Malloy University in that one to now improve their record to 6-9 in conference play. And still one more game left between those two teams. That game scheduled for 2 o'clock probably will be, I would have to guess, around 2:15, 2:20. Maybe a little bit earlier than that for the start time of game number 2. I thought initially maybe I would have been able to join Joe Foreman before that game. But it's been a very long contest here at baseball. As we are about to hit the 2-hour mark in this game here in the 6th inning. That one hit towards third and through for a base hit. Ben Mascatello was on with the leadoff single. And just like that, the Spartans now have the tying run coming up to the plate once again. And David Potenza, I mentioned earlier on, is the team leader in home runs this season with 4. If there was anyone on this team to tie the game with one swing, it is certainly him. See maybe if Joe Foreman joins me for maybe an inning here at baseball. He is, of course, doing double duty down at softball, so we'll see. We'll play it by ear. If he does not, he said he would join me, depending on time, for Game 2 of our doubleheader. That one was bunted by Potenza, but not made contact. It's a wild pitch, and it goes to the backstop, and that will allow Mascatello now to go to second base. So Potenza showed the bunt. It was in the dirt for a ball, went to the backstop for a wild pitch, and now Potenza has an RBI opportunity right here. The Dolphins call time as Giovanone will talk towards his new pitcher. We've seen some crazy come-from-behind victories here at the baseball complex. In that doubleheader against Mercy, the Dolphins were down 7. They came back to win. Against the Mavericks in Game 2, they were up 9. The Mavericks came back to win that game. As Potenza shows bunt once again, and it misses low for ball 2. We saw Potenza reach base last time via bunt single. He tried to move the runner over to third base in this spot right here. This time swings away and swings and misses for a strike. Now 2-1 to count. Two and one now the count here for Kilty. And it just misses on the outside for ball 3. So Kilty now in danger of walking Potenza and bringing the go-ahead runner to the plate for the Spartans. (3-1). Potenza hits that one into left center. Palomini is there. He makes the long run and makes the catch. Tagging from second to third will be Mascatello, and there's now one away in the inning. A very long run out there in center field for Palomini, but he's able to make the catch. Give the Dolphins the first out of the inning, as Ryan Hillary will now come up to the plate with a runner on third. And Spartans will talk some strategy here with time being called. Double action going up in the CSI bullpen as well. Looks like Christopher Martinez is up there. Not throwing at the moment. I think that is Nick Pusinelli that's warming up for CSI. As Hillary hits that one into center field. Another long run for Palomini. He will make the catch, but that is well deep enough to score in the runner Mascatello from third base. It's a sacrifice fly for Ryan Hillary, and just like that, Stack has now made this a one-run game. It's an 8-1 lead for the Dolphins. So we saw a one-run finish down at softball. We now have a one-run game here at baseball. Still a little bit of time is away to see how this game will conclude. DeMarco's first pitch hit foul and over the press box. As I mentioned, keep it that way. Nowhere near where the camera is currently positioned. That one hit down the first base line. Vigliotti is there. He will step on the bag in time and retire the side. Spartans do bring home a run here in the top of the 6th inning. They now head into the home 6 for CSI. And now it's an 8-7 lead for the Dolphins. Bottom of the 6th inning here. A.J. Vigliotti will lead it off for the Dolphins. And he goes first pitch swinging. Hits this one to left center field. This one is gone. First pitch swinging for A.J. Vigliotti. And he hits a solo home run to left center field. And the Dolphins now take a 9-7 lead. What a kickstart to this inning for the Dolphins. After Stack made this a one-run game on the sacrifice fly back in the top of the inning, A.J. Vigliotti gets that run back for the Dolphins. One pitch into left for a home run to give now the Dolphins back a 2-run lead in this game. Vigliotti now with his 4th home run of the season puts him now into sole possession of second place on the Dolphin team lead for home runs this season. As J.J. Hunter now comes up. He's now in a 2-strike count. And you got the sense that the Dolphins really needed that run. 8-1 lead, down to 8-7. Stack making this one very interesting. A big home run for Vigliotti now puts them back up 2. Dolphins, of course, would love to get some more insurance as this game keeps going along. It's now 1-2 to here to Hunter, and he will hit that one foul and out of play. Ashton going up as well in the Stack bullpen. We'll see if I can get the number for that pitcher. It is a left-handed pitcher, I can tell you that. It's now 2-2. Hunter hits that one foul and behind the plate once again. Took a nice bounce right off the top of the press box. And it's Kyle Rogers up in the bullpen. So Kyle Rogers warming up in the pen for the Spartans. See how long Alameda goes here in the 6th. It's 2-2 once again. And once again hit foul. Joe Foreman and I talked about it, I believe maybe in our last broadcast or second broadcast before that. I have never seen this many home runs hit here at baseball. Whether it's just CSI or the opposing team. There's been a lot of home runs hit this year at the complex. As Hunter hits that one into right field. Moscatello was there and makes the catch. And there's now one away in the inning.
Now batting the left fielder, number 1, Jaden Waterman.
Jaden Waterman comes up with one gone in the inning. Apologies, we didn't have our break board up, and now it's back on. A big home run gives CSI now the 2-run lead. Waterman had a big home run on Thursday, as I mentioned earlier on. He swings and misses there for a strike. 0-1 now the count. Vigliotti now with his 34th RBI of the season. That is also second best in the team behind Palomini. Palomini, Vigliotti once again having a fantastic season for the Dolphins this year. They've been huge parts of the Dolphins' success this season and a huge reason why they are in second place right now in the standings. 1-2 now the count. And it looks like it just missed. The count now even at 2. 2-2 now the count here for the Dolphin left fielder. And Waterman swings and misses for strike 3. So after giving up the leadoff home run, Alameda has now gotten back-to-back outs. 2 gone in the inning, and now bring up Michael Flashner. Flashner already has a big hit in this game, a 2-run single back in that 3rd inning. Looks to do something here with 2 gone in this one as he swings and misses for a strike. 0-1 is the count. Depending how long this inning goes, I might have a special guest join me in a few moments. Count now is 0-2 as Flashner once again swings and misses. Alameda 1 strike away from getting out of this one, and it misses on the outside for ball 1. Joe, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you, Nick. We had quite the game down the hill over at softball. Huge win for the Dolphins as they took game 1 from Malloy 4-3.
Michael Flashner hits that one into right center field, and that one will drop in for a base hit. Flashner takes the wide turn at first, but will go back into safely, and he's on with a 2-out single. I was paying attention to your game as well, Joe, while we were calling it here. Dolphins showed that game 3-0, but were able to work their way back into that one. And as you mentioned, a huge conference win for the Dolphins heading into game 2.
Well, if I have to hit the cough button, Nick, I apologize. The allergens down there really getting to me.
All good. God bless you as well. As TJ Leno takes a swing and a miss, 0-1 to count.
Much needed. I didn't get to the button in time during my game, so we're going to have to make a post-game edit there. But I said it on the broadcast, the win down the hill for softball, I would argue, is that's hit well to right field. Forget it.
Goodbye, baseball. TJ Leno, 2-run homer. Dolphins lead this game 11-7.
One might say, Nick, that I had a positive impact on that AB. One might say.
One might say. It's second home run of the inning for the Dolphins. I saw, and earlier in this game, Joe, Leno hit a double out into right field that was mere inches away from a home run. This one, as you mentioned, was a no-doubter off the bat.
That is as well struck a ball as we've seen down that right field line in some time. We've seen a lot of home runs this year, Nick.
I was just talking about that, too, before you got on the call.
I'm not sure we've seen one hit to straightaway right that well.
Yeah. Leno's home run right there gives him now his third home run of the season, tied for third best with Jack Keogh on this team. And, Joe, in this one, an 8-1 lead for the Dolphins got trimmed down to 8-7. And a 3 spot here in the bottom of the 6th has now put them back up by 4 runs.
Well, for better or for worse, if you're the Dolphins, big leads never seem to be safe. If
No.
they're on the short end or on the winning side of a big lead, the trailing team just always seems to battle back. And I would say, without a doubt, this has been the most entertaining season of baseball that we've covered at the Division II level. So many great games, so many big comebacks, both for the Dolphins and for some of their opponents. It's made for some very entertaining broadcasts.
And I was thinking that it was kind of deja vu because that comeback against Mercy, where Mercy came back from down 9, Michael first started that game, if you remember. And the Dolphins unfortunately lost that game. The Dolphins had a 7-run lead here in this one. It got trimmed down to 1. But 2 big home runs in this inning have now given them back a 4-run lead. As Jake Giovanone hits that one foul, now the count goes to 0-2.
Well, I spoke about it with you on softball and a bit more after you left the pregame ahead of that broadcast, but baseball is closing in very quickly on a playoff spot.
Yes.
And a sweep here today could go a long way.
And I mentioned it from the Stack side as well. They really can't afford a sweep at the rate that they're going. After today, they have 5 conference games left, one being against the Dolphins on Monday. Then they end their year against Queens the same week the Dolphins play Duville.
And I think if you're Stack, you probably can't afford to lose more than one more game. If you're the Dolphins and you get to 10 wins at the end of the series, which would require a 4-game sweep, but if you get there, you might have a spot clinched before the final weekend of the regular season without playing a game.
And how huge would that be for this team to not have to worry as much about terms of making the playoffs or not if they already have that spot locked up?
Some might argue that would hurt you. I think it definitely helps you. Take the pressure off. Just go out there and play your game the final weekend. Do all the things that got you to that position, and you'll be just fine. I don't think any team wants to be sweating whether or not they're going to qualify for the playoffs on the final weekend.
Giovanone hits that one foul. I made a comment earlier, Joe. Chris Palomini hit a foul ball into foul territory. I think it hit off of a car. And I said, well, unfortunately, someone parked in the front row, and that's the damage you could do so if you park in that front row.
That'll get you. This is probably as big of a crowd as we've had in the complex all year, not just at the baseball diamond, but combined with softball between both events going on. Senior Day down the hill, really big turnout, not much parking, have to arrive early.
Yep. And Giovanone, nice at bat, works the 2-out walk. And that will extend the inning for the Dolphins. Yeah, it was a good thing that we had ourselves scheduled to get here at 10 a.m. There was a lot of parking when we got here. Not as so much anymore as these two games go along.
I'd say you're moving at a pretty good pace, though.
Yeah. A very long third inning, 8 runs, of course, for the Dolphins that inning. Stat got 5 back in the 5th inning, so that prolonged it a bit. But now we're moving back at the pace that you expect for a normal baseball 9-inning game.
At one point, you were outpacing us by a full inning. You were in the third, and we were in the second.
Yes. Big swing and a miss from Rodriguez, and that makes the count 0-2. Dolphins, Joe, getting all 8 runs with 2 outs, and I mentioned it earlier. Not the first time this season we've seen the Dolphins have a nice 2-out rally to get a big run spot in the inning.
And I was following that down at softball as that's taken up and away for ball 1. But that inning went on for quite some time. They began the inning trailing 1-0, finished the inning up 8-1.
And while you're here, they might need you for – I don't think they need you now. They might need you at the end of the game. We had a rundown play at third base, but the input was so long that we might not be able to input it at the current moment.
I heard.
Yeah. It was I think I wrote it down somewhere.
I think ultimately the only thing that matters is the assist and the put out.
Yes.
So you could only input the final 2 components of that rundown, and you'd be fine.
As Rodriguez swings and misses for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Dolphins straight a base runner here in the inning, but not before they bring home 4 runs in this 6th. 3 runs in the 6th inning. Did my math wrong there. 4-run lead now for CSI. Solo home run for A.J. Vigliotti. 2-run homer for T.J. Leno. We head to the top of the 7th. Dolphins lead 11-7.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Back for the top of the 7th here at the baseball complex. Thank you to my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, for joining me for the remaining stages of that previous half inning. He got to see a T.J. Leno 2-run homer after A.J. Vigliotti started the inning off with a home run. The Dolphins now lead this game 11-7. Another high-scoring affair here at the baseball complex. I mentioned it earlier, and what Joe and I talked about just a few moments ago as well. It has been a very interesting season this year in terms of run scoring, home runs being hit here at baseball, and we still have 3 more innings to play in this game between these two teams and another full 7 after this game concludes. As the first pitch from Aiden Kilty missed high and inside for a ball, 1-0 is the count. So Kilty came on in relief with a 2-run lead. It was then a 1-run game after a sacrifice fly. He now has a 4-run lead in this inning as that one's grounded towards short. Tough play for Flashner. What a play by the Dolphins shortstop. That one hit up the middle. Flashner having to go all the way to make the play, and he's able to make a strong throw to first base in time. And there's one gone in the 7th. College of Crest was the one retired to start off the inning. That will bring up Tyler Haight. And that one in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. If I have some time in between games, I'll try to join Joe at the softball complex for maybe at least a half inning of their second game against Malloy. That game should approximately be starting, I would assume, in 5 to 10 minutes. And then once his second game concludes, Joe will join me on the broadcast for the remainder of Game 2, or, depending on time length, a couple of innings in Game 2. Joe and I having a busy day here on Saturday. We're both, of course, wrestling fans. We talked about that a couple of broadcasts now, but WrestleMania Saturday tonight for the both of us. So we have our very own watch parties that we are attending as soon as our day is over here at CSI. Joe making the trip out into Long Island. Thankfully for me, I have just about a 5-minute drive to my watch party tonight for WrestleMania. As Tyler Haight hits that one into right field, and it falls in front of Jack Keogh, and that's in for a base hit. 10th hit of the game right there for the Spartans. Tyler Haight's on with a 1-out single. And I'll bring up Nick Ultra now to the plate. Did some big damage his last time up. His base hit brought home 3 runs. It made it an 8-6 game at the time. It's a nice day so far for Stack in this one. 2 for 3. He's credited with 1 run in that spot. As that one just missed on the outside for a ball. 2-0 the count. Action going up in the Dolphin bullpen. As I mentioned earlier on, it looks like it's Nick Pucinelli warming up for CSI, and that's indeed the case. Quickly here now for Kilty. He's behind the count 3-0. And I mentioned earlier on during his stats that Kilty has had an issue with walks this season. Coming into the day, he had more walks than strikeouts. It's a danger of walking Ultra right here. And he does so on 4 pitches. So after retiring the first batter, Haight gets the single. Ultra works the walk. And now Michael Zeiss comes up, and if he's able to get on, that will afford the Spartans the chance to bring the tying run towards the plate. And if you look at it even further now for CSI, a huge, really huge for the Dolphins to get those 3 runs back in that last half inning. A big difference with the tying run at second base in this spot to now the tying run being on deck if Zeiss were to get on. Pitch from Kilty. This is low for a ball, 1-0 the count. The 1-0. This is high and inside for ball 2. Now, I mentioned earlier on as well for Stack, as John Esposito will come out to talk to Aiden Kilty on the mound visit. If you look at the standings right now, Malloy is in good position right now at 11-5 in conference. The Dolphins are right behind them at 7-6 in second place. They have these 2 games today, 1 more game on Monday, and then a 4-game series against Duville to end the year. Mercy right now is 8-8 in conference play on the season. The Mavericks so far in the season, in terms of conference play, have 1 more series set, and that is against Queens on the 26th next Saturday. So Mercy will be done with conference play next Saturday. For Queens, they have a couple of big series coming up for them themselves. They play Duville as of now. We'll have to see maybe if we can get a scoring update for that game. They play Mercy on the 25th, the 26th, and the 27th. And then they play this Stack team for a doubleheader on the 2nd, a doubleheader on the 3rd. That might be incorrect. I think it's a single, a double, and a single. Zeiss hits that one to short. Flasher steps on the bag for 1. On to first base in time. Michael Flashner turns the double play, and the Dolphins get out of the 7th inning. A nice double play turn by the Dolphins shortstop will get them into the home 7th, with them still leading this game 11-7.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
Bottom half of the seventh inning here at the CSI Baseball Complex. 11-7 Dolphin lead. And they will have the top of the lineup come up here in the seventh inning, facing a new pitcher for the Spartans today. That will be Anthony Holtje. He will come on in relief, try to keep this a 4-run lead for CSI now. As Palomini half swing. Did he go? He did not. And the count evens at 1. Palomini 3 for 4 on the day. And that one in there for a strike now. 1-2 is the count. That one on the outside misses for ball 2. Before that double play was turned to end the last half inning, I was talking about the Stack schedule to end their season. I mentioned that their 4-game set against Queens to end the year. Queens, of course, right now, if you look at the standings, as Palomini hits that one to left, forget that one. This one is gone. Chris Palomini adds to his home run lead this season with his 11th home run, and the Dolphins lead this game 12-7. The home run parade for here today just continues for CSI, and Chris Palomini continues his historic 2025 season with his 11th home run. And he'll bring up Jack Keogh with now one away, with still nobody out, I should say. As he swings and misses for a strike, 0-1 the count. I talked about Palomini's RBIs earlier on. A now 3 RBI day for him here today. Now has 38 on the season. He is inching closer and closer in the all-time record books. With 38 RBIs, he's now tied for 14th on the all-time list. With one more, or I should say with 2 more today, he could get up to 12. Has a very good chance if he has another big RBI game in Game 2. You can maybe even have the conversation. He could work himself in to the top 10 of the all-time record books with RBIs in a single season. This is on the inside for ball 2. 2-2 now the count. Dolphins have worked their way back into this one after that one chopped towards second. Going to be a tough play. Keogh goes down the first base line. He is out. They barely get Keogh at the first base bag. Not an easy play for Hillary at second base with Keogh's speed, as they just get him by a step. And there is one gone here in the 7th. A.J. Vigliotti up to the plate once again. Takes a strike 0-1 the count. Vigliotti, of course, with first pitch swinging. It hit a home run his last time up to the plate. Hits that one to third, and that one's through for a base hit. Vigliotti is on once again via the base hit. He is now 3 for 3 on the day. He has reached base all 5 times in this game. And that will bring up J.J. Hunter. Vigliotti has been a problem in this game for the Spartans. He is 3 for 3 and is also worth 2 walks. J.J. Hunter up now, 0 for 3 on the day. Now we're missing the dirt for a ball, 1-0 the count. Another big hitting day for the Dolphins. 13 hits, 12 runs. They've also been awarded a couple of errors from the Spartans. They've also been able to work a lot of walks in this game as well. The Dolphins have worked 6 walks in this one. Vigliotti, I mentioned, had 2 of them. It's 2-0 count now here. Now make the count 2-1. The 2-1. And it misses on the outside for ball 3. So Holtby now in danger of walking Hunter, giving the Dolphins their 7th walk of this game, and putting first and second on with 1 out. And it's fouled off right off of the pole behind the plate in the backstop. And now it's 3-2. I'd be very curious to see. I don't think it will happen. Would they put Vigliotti in motion on this pitch? They do not. And Hunter's down swinging and missing for strike 3. So Hunter now 0 for 4 in the day. Retired via the punch-out. And there is 2 gone in the inning. And it'll bring up Jaden Waterman now with 2 outs. Waterman today is 0 for 3. Does have an RBI on that walk. That came back in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded. Has also scored in a run. That one on the outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Count now goes to 1-1. The 1-1. Big swing and a miss from Waterman, and the count goes to 1-2. I'm going to see if they've gotten underway at softball. They have not just yet, so. Game 2 of the Dolphins doubleheader between them and the Lions should be coming up shortly. As Waterman's down looking for strike 3, and that will retire the side. Dolphins do strand a runner on base here in the 7th, but not before Chris Palomini, his 11th home run of the season, now gives the Dolphins a 12-7 lead as we head to the top of the 8th inning.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
Top of the inning here at the CSI Baseball Complex. A now 12-7 lead for the Dolphins after Chris Palomini hit his team-leading 11th home run of this 2025 season. Another big RBI day for him. 3 more to add to his total this season. Now 38 on the year. And still 1 more game to go here today. First pitch remaining, Kilty missed high and inside for a ball. 1-0 is the count. Kilty on for his 3rd inning of relief. He has gotten a couple starts this season, so it's not surprising to see him out here once again. So that one in there for a strike now. The count even at 1. 7, 8, and 9 in the inning here for Stack, Ewing, Moscatello, and Potenza. That one in there for a strike now. 1-2. The 1-2 misses high for ball 2. Two from Kilty. And it just misses for ball 3. Count now full at 3-2. As I mentioned earlier on, the Dolphins do have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen, that being Pusinelli. We'll see how long Kilty goes in this one. Half swing from Ewing. Did he go? He did not. And Ewing works himself a leadoff walk.
Now batting the right fielder, number 29, Ben Mascatello.
Moscatello comes up now here. Runner on first. Nobody out in the inning. Stacked down to their final 6 outs in this one. And he hits that one in foul territory. And out of play for Leno. As Joe mentioned earlier on, a very nice turnout here for today's doubleheader. Great crowd here at baseball. Great crowd as well at softball, of course, for senior day there. Baseball senior day is coming up around the corner as well. I can tell you they've started at softball. So the live stats right now are not working for Joe. So hopefully he's able to fix that for himself as that one goes along. It's an 0-2 count now here for Moscatello. Half swing, did he go? It looks like he held up, and the count goes to 1-2. Tenza on deck. After him, it's back to the top of the lineup for the Spartans. They throw it to first base, and Ewing is back in safely. Half swing again, but again, holding up was Mascatello. And now the count evens at 2. The only reason I know that softball is currently going on, I hear the softball walk-ups. That laptop is very loud. But we're also very loud here with our music here at baseball. That one hit behind the plate. Let's see where it lands. And it's out of play. Have to watch out on a day like this. Probably the hottest day of the year so far. It is a very sunny day as well. Good weather today for this doubleheader for both baseball and softball, as that one misses for ball 3. So Kilty was a strike away from the first out of the inning. He's now in danger of walking back-to-back base runners. It's now 3-2 here. And it misses in the dirt for ball 4. And that'll probably do it for Aiden Kilty on the day. Back-to-back walks issued to start off this 8th inning. And it looks like the Dolphins will make a pitching change, as Kilty will give CSI 2 innings of relief in this one. But it looks like that will be all for the Dolphin pitcher. Dolphins will make a pitching change. We'll give you that pitching change when we come back from this commercial break. Stack has first and second. Nobody out here in the 8th. Dolphins lead this one 12-7.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
David Potenza will face a new Dolphin pitcher here in the top half of the 8th inning. It is Nick Pusinelli out in relief for the Dolphins, trying to hold on to their 12-7 lead in this contest today. His first pitch is fouled and behind the plate, 0-1. Pusinelli's stats on the season: this will be his 13th appearance of the year, a record of 0-2. He's pitched 17 innings, has allowed 31 hits, 24 runs, 16 earned, 17 walks, 18 strikeouts, with an ERA of 8.47. His tie for the team lead as well, with 2 saves on this season. And we'll see if the Dolphins maybe try to stretch him out in this game to potentially get another save right here. Count goes to 1-1. If he were to get the final 6 outs of this game, he would be in line for the save. Potenza hits that one in foul territory. Bigliotti is there. He makes the catch. And there is one away.
Now
So Pusinelli comes out of relief, retires the first batter he sees. And now back to the top of the lineup for the Spartans, and that'll bring up Ryan Hillary. Hillary today 1 for 3 with an RBI. He scored twice as well. That one in there for a strike, 0-1. You get the sense that Pusinelli is going to be in line to try to get these final 6 outs. Dolphins trying to preserve as many arms as they possibly can. That one hit towards third and short and through for a base hit. 1 run is going to score. They will hold the runner at second base. An RBI single for Ryan Hillary, and it's now a 12-8 game here at the baseball complex. So Hillary gets another RBI single in this game. And now if DeMarco can get on, that would afford Stack the tying run at the plate. So might have to bite my tongue. Maybe the Dolphins might have to potentially use another pitcher. They're hoping they don't have to. We'll see if Pusinelli can bounce back after giving up that single, as that one missed on the outside for a ball, 1-0 the count. Looks like Ryan Fiore is about to start warming up in the bullpen. The 1-0. Hit foul behind the plate and over the press box. The count evens at 1. That one is drilled into right center field, but Palomini is there, and he will make the catch. And there's now 2 gone in the inning. That one was hit a mile right there by DeMarco, but he just missed it. It'll be up to Kyle DeCrest now with 2 gone in the inning. He has first and third in this spot. And as I mentioned, if he's able to get on, would bring the tying run to the plate. That would be the cleanup hitter in Haight. So if you're DeCrest, the goal right now obviously is to get on base right here. Give your cleanup hitter a chance. That one in there for a strike. The count goes to 0-1. Update at softball. The live stats are now finally going through. Malloy jumps out to an early 4-0 lead in that game. Dolphins were trailing 3-0 in game 1, came back to win. They now have a 4-run deficit in game 2. They're in the top of the second of that one. A swing and a miss there on 0-1 now makes the count 0-2 for DeCrest, as Pusinelli now a strike away from getting out of this one. Misses on the outside. Dolphins will induce the rundown. They will now go to first base, and they will get the putout. The runner went off of the base pass, and that will not allow Stack to bring home that run. Not often do we see a couple of rundowns here at baseball, but we've seen a couple already here today. The Dolphins get the putout as the Spartans were trying to get the steal at second base, and they got caught to end this 8th inning. The Spartans do get a run here in the top of the 8th, but they strand 2 base runners. We head to the home 8th. The Dolphins lead this one, 12-8. Bottom of the 8th inning here at CSI. 12-8 lead for the Dolphins over the Spartans at St. Thomas Aquinas College. As CSI looks for some insurance runs here in the home 8th before heading into the top of the 9th. We've already seen a 5-run inning from Stack in this game, so 4-run lead certainly not the safest right now at this point in time for CSI. So they would certainly like to get some insurance before heading into that top of the 9th inning. And we'll see who the Dolphins will bring out for the top of the 9th, whether it's either Nick Pusinelli or it will be Ryan Fiore, who we saw warming up in that last half inning. Michael Flasher will lead it off here. Flasher today 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Of course, that 2 RBIs is the reason why the Dolphins took the lead back in the 3rd inning. He singled his last time up. They come around to score in the Lano home run as he hits that one foul and out of play. Flasher had a rough start to this game with the error to start this one, but has bounced back tremendously both at short and as well at the plate. Holtze still the pitcher here for the Spartans in the 8th inning. His task in this 8th inning is simple: to make sure that the Dolphins don't get back to the top of the lineup. And get Chris Palomini and the rest of that crew a chance to hit one more time in this game. 6, 7, and 8 up in the inning for CSI as the count now goes to 1 and 2 of the Dolphins shortstop. Bottom of the line has done a good job in this game as well. But Flasher is down on the strikeout, and there's now one away down here in the 8th.
Now batting the third baseman, number 10, T.J. Leno.
T.J. Leno comes up with 1 gone in the inning. Hit a towering fly ball into right field his last time for his 3rd home run of the season. Another multi-home run game for the Dolphins in this one. Leno hit a home run. Bigliotti with a home run. Palomini with a home run. 3 more home runs for the Dolphins in this one. So that one takes a ricochet off the backstop and foul, and the count goes to 1 and 1. Once we conclude here at baseball, we'll have a couple minutes in between this game and game number 2. I'll make my way towards the softball complex and join my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, at least for 1 inning of that game. So if you had a good time listening to me today for today's baseball broadcast, make sure to tune on in to our softball broadcast for game number 2. And I'll be back on the call for game number 2 of this doubleheader. Dolphins can hang on here in game 1 to look for the sweep of the doubleheader in game number 2. Leno again hits that one deep into right center field. That one takes a 1 bounce off the wall. Leno was mere inches away again from another home run in this game. He's on with a 1-out double. T.J. Leno has had himself a monster day for the Dolphins. That is now his 3rd extra base hit of this one, his 2nd double, and as I mentioned, folks, he was mere inches away from a 2nd home run. It just bounced off of that fence out in right center field. And that will now bring up Jake Giovanone. And he hits that one foul and out of play. Giovanone on this contest today for the Dolphins is currently 1 for 2. Has worked the walk as well. He's also scored in a run. He now has a 1-1 count. And I mentioned the strategy here for Stack is to make sure the Dolphins get back to the top of the lineup. Still 1 out of the innings, so they still have a chance to avoid that. But another base runner would give the Dolphins a chance to bring Palomini up one more time in this game. As the count now goes to 2-1 on the Dolphin catcher. That one in there for a strike now, count even at 2. And now 2-2 count here for J.G. Vanone. Leno standing on second with one down in the inning. In the dirt, good stop by Zeiss. And now the count is full at 3-2. So Holtby now in danger of walking a batter right here. Gave the Dolphins first and second with still one out. Here comes the 3-2. That one hit towards short. Ewing is there. He'll throw it on to first base in time. And they will hold Leno at second base. And there's now 2 away in the inning. Nice play right there by the Spartan shortstop. Prevents Leno from going to third. And now it comes down to Nico Rodriguez with 2 gone in the inning. Rodriguez today 1 for 2. 2 walks, a run scored. This is the out right here Stack really needs to get. If they can avoid facing the top of the lineup one more time in this game, it will give them a chance at the top 9th inning to maybe come from behind. First pitch was fouled off behind the plate. 0-1 is the count. Especially after the fact that Palomini went yard his last time around as well. Stack would really like to avoid having to face him for a 6th time in this contest. The 0-1. Breaking ball misses high for a ball. 1-1 now the count. And now 1-1 count here. In the dirt, stopped by Zeiss, and it's now 2-1. Misses inside, and it hits Rodriguez. That one definitely stung a bit. And that's one that might come back to haunt the Spartans right there. Most likely will lead to a pitching change as well. Holtby hits Rodriguez and now brings Palomini up with still 2 gone in the inning. But as I mentioned, it looks like the Spartans will make a pitching change here before they face Palomini, and that will indeed be the case. So we'll get that pitching change for you when we come back from this commercial break. First and second, 2 outs here in the 8th. Chris Palomini comes up for the 6th time in this game, with the Dolphins leading this one 12-8.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Laurent Hoti will come on in relief here at the bottom of the 8th, and he comes in a tough spot. First and second, 2 outs. And for the 6th time today, Chris Palomini comes up to the plate, and he's in an early 1-0 count. Palomini on the day, 4 for 5, 3 RBIs, and of course that home run he hit back his last time up to the plate. Count now 1-1. I mentioned earlier on as well the RBI total for Palomini on the season now up to 38. Gets another one right here. He'll be tied for 13th all time for runs batted in the season. And he was going for extra more right there, but he swings and misses, and the count goes to 1-2. See if I have enough time to get the stats on Hoti this season before he throws this next upcoming pitch. It's now a 1-2 count. Drilled down the third base line and threw it for a base hit. Palomini will add to his total. 1 run will score. It takes a bounce off the fence. That will allow another run to score. It's a 5 RBI day for Palomini. The Dolphins now extend their lead. It is now 14-8 CSI. The historic season for Chris Palomini continues with a 2-run double down the left field line. And it brings up Jack Keogh now for the 6th time in this contest as he takes the ball 1-0 the count. Second look at that last hit for Palomini. He is now at 40 RBIs on the season, tied for 12th all-time in Dolphins team record books for RBIs in the season. I mentioned if he got a base hit right there, would have made him tied for 13th. Not only did he get the tie for 13th, he got the extra run with that extra base hit. It's now a 2-1 count here to Keogh. A rare 0 for today for Keogh. 0 for 5 at the plate. And it's now 2-2. I mentioned Laurent Hoti's stats on the season. This is his 7th appearance of the year. He's pitched 7 innings of work, 10 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned, 6 walks, 4 strikeouts with an ERA of 6.43. There goes Palomini towards third, and he is in safely. Count now goes full 3-2 to Keogh. It's another stolen base for Palomini on the season. That will now give him his 13th stolen base of the year. Now 13 for 16 on the season. And a nice breaking ball, but Hoti is in there for strike 3, and that will retire the side. The Dolphins do strand a runner in this inning, but not before Chris Palomini continues his record-breaking season here for the Dolphins in this 8th inning. A 2-run double gives him now 40 RBIs on the year. It gives CSI now a 14-8 lead heading in to the top of the 9th inning.
The Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Spartans down to their final 3 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. A now 14-8 lead for CSI in this game. And Nick Pusinelli will come out for another inning of work here in the 9th inning, looking for the save. Looking to give CSI their 8th conference win of the season, but there is a leadoff double as that one is hit into left field off the bat, and it's going to be a stand-up double to start off this 9th inning for Kyle DeCrest. So DeCrest on an early 1-0 count, drills it into left field, gets the double. As the Spartans will look for some kind of rally here in this 9th inning, down 6 at the moment. Dolphins got some big insurance runs that previous half inning. Chris Palomini with a 5 RBI game once again this season. Now 40 RBIs, as I mentioned, on the year. Puts him in a tie for 12th all-time in RBIs. Tyler Hay hits that one. Half swing foul and out of play. And it's now an 0-2 count. At the bottom of the 3rd inning at softball, 4-0 lead still for Malloy in that game. So imagine once I wrap up here at baseball, I will make my way to softball as Tyler Hay's down swinging. And Pusinelli rebounds back with the strikeout. And the Spartans now down to their final 2 outs. There's one away in the 9th. One gone now here in the 9th inning. That'll bring up Nick Ulcher. Ulcher's had himself a nice day at the plate. He's 2 for 3 with an RBI. He's also worked the walk. That one in the dirt behind Giovanone. But no movement right there at second base from DeCrest. He will stay at second base, and the count goes to 1-0. The first of 2 games here today. Game 1, of course, a 9-inning game. Game number 2 will be a 7-inning contest between these 2 teams. So both teams trying to preserve their relievers in this one. And, of course, they'll have a day off tomorrow with the Easter holiday, but then they'll be back in action at Stack on Monday, the final game of their 4-game series. It's now 2-0 here to Ulcher. He drills that foul out of play. The count goes to 2-1. Two and one now the count here. On the outside for ball 3. 3-1 now the count. We did see Ryan Fiore warming up for CSI. In all likelihood, they'll try to give Pusinelli a chance to get the save. But if he works into any trouble, he'll have to come out. As Ulcher half swung, but he gets the walk. And it's now first and second, still 1 out in the inning. Michael Zeiss now comes up. Zeiss on the day 2 for 4. 3 RBIs, 2 doubles as well. Spartans hoping that he can get another extra base hit right here and make this a potential 4-run contest. This is high and outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count. Okay, now 1-0 count. That one hit into left. That could be trouble. And it will be trouble. This one is gone. It is a 3-run homer for Michael Zeiss. And it's now a 14-11 lead for the Dolphins. And now how important were those insurance runs that last half inning for Palomini? If not for getting those 2 runs, this would be a 1-run lead for CSI. It is now a 3-run lead for the Dolphins as they will make the pitching change here in this 9th inning. They will bring in Ryan Fiore to get the final 2 outs of this contest, as now it is a 3-run lead for CSI. When we come back from this commercial break, 14-11, Dolphin lead. Chris Ewing will come up with one out in the ninth, and now, once again, the Spartans make this game interesting. A 14-11 lead for CSI. And Ryan Fiore will come out to look for his first save of the season as he throws a first pitch strike count 0-1. Fiore making his 12th appearance of the year. He has a 1-0 record. He's pitched 16 in the third, 19 hits, 9 runs, 7 earned, 4 walks, 11 strikeouts, and an ERA of 3.86, as I mentioned, going for his first save of the season. But is now behind the count 2-1 to the Spartan shortstop Ewing. If you're stacked, obviously the main concern right now, you want to get some base runners, but if you can get back to your top of the lineup, you will be making this game even more interesting than it already has been. (3-1). That one hit into left, but looks to be playable for Waterman. He makes the catch, and there is now 2 away. Dolphin fans having to hold their breath after Zeiss hit that home run the previous at-bat. That one was given a ride by Ewing into left field, but just a bit under it on that one. And now the Spartans are down to their final out on this game. It'll be up to Ben Moscatello. He is 1 for 3 in this contest. And he'll take a first pitch strike, 0-1 the count. If the Dolphins are able to hold on, they will get their 8th conference win of the season. But they will have to wait another at-bat as Moscatello was hit by the pitch. So now David Potenza comes up with 2 outs and a runner on. If Potenza gets on, the tying run would come to the plate, and that would be Ryan Hillary, the leadoff hitter. For Stack, right now they are 4-9 on the season. And after this first game, they still have 6 more conference games left on the season. They are currently right now behind Queens and Deauville, who are in a tie right now in conference play for the 4th spot in the ECC standings. They're a full 1 win back in the win column and a full 3 back in the loss column. Big swing and a miss for Potenza right there, and the count goes to 1-1. Dolphin faithful that have come out here to the baseball complex looking to cheer their team on and will them to a victory here in game 1 of this doubleheader. It's now a 1-1 here for Fiore. And it misses on the outside. 2-1 now the count. Two and 1 now the count here to the Spartan center fielder. And he takes a big swing and a miss for strike 2. And the Dolphins are now 1 strike away from a very big win in game one of this doubleheader. 2-2 now the count here for Fiore. And that one is swung on and missed for strike three. Potenza swings and misses for strike three, and that will do it here at the baseball complex. The Dolphins win this game by the final of 14-11. A marathon type of performance here in this one between these two teams. Michael Zeiss made it interesting in the ninth inning with a 3-run homer, but that is all the Spartans would be able to get in this half inning. The final line score for this one, the Spartans with 11 runs on 13 hits and 4 errors. The Dolphins 14 runs, 15 hits, 3 errors in this game. Michael first will get the win in this one. The loss will be charged to Oren Winslow. The save will go to Ryan Fiore, his first save of this season, as the Dolphins pick up their 8th conference win of the year, improve their record now to 14-23, 8-6 in the ECC. For Stack, they now drop to 9-25, 4-10 in conference play, and you get the sense that this next game upcoming for Stack is a must-win for the Spartans. 6 remaining conference games for Stack, and they still have some time to pick up the next couple of games in the standings, but a doubleheader sweep to CSI today could really hurt the Spartans' chances of making the ECC playoffs this season. Meanwhile, for CSI, they further improved their odds with this victory today, and they can even further it even further. I know that's saying it a couple times as well, but they can really make their odds even better if they are able to pick up the doubleheader sweep in Game 2 of our coverage here on the ECC Network. But for now, for myself, Nicholas Pavona, on Game 1's broadcast, I will be back in approximately 25 to 30 minutes. We'll see how long they take in between these games. For anyone that is tuning into softball, I'll be making my way over to the softball complex to join my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman, for coverage of Game 2 between the Lions of Malloy University and the College of Staten Island softball game. But for Game 1's coverage, that will do it for now. I'll be back for Game number 2 in approximately 25 minutes. The Dolphins take Game 1, 14-11. We'll see you in a few minutes for Game 2's coverage on the ECC Network.